trying to look at the data, the raw data, and this gave us some insights. And next steps here, we're also looking at what we call differential language analysis, seeing what distinguishes depression from the controls or non-depressed people within each data set, and see how those signals are different. Another way we characterize people, and kind of alluding to the second half of our work, which is all focused on time, we also looked at diurnal patterns. Basically asking this question, do people who attempt suicide display different weekly patterns than their neurotypical counterparts? And there's kind of a literature related to this of note. Dodds found, using a measure of emotions in Twitter, various patterns over the weekly scale, where Saturday seems to be the peak and Tuesday is the bottom point of positive versus negative language posting on Twitter. So when we did this in our data, this is what we came up with. Some of the methods I go into this we'll talk about in a bit, but the green bar here represents the neurotypical controls, and the red bar represents suicide attempters, and they're all matched. In fact, they're matched by the range that they post, the gender, and their age. And we looked at what's the mean, first the mean within a user, and then across users, to generate these plots of this Vader sentiment score. Vader is a sentiment analysis approach that was developed specifically for Twitter. And what we found, one of the, I think, striking, and the first time this has been found, results to come out of this is that the suicide attempters peak on Friday, while the neurotypicals seem to peak on the weekend. And we took it a step further, and so yes, there is a different weekly pattern. But then we took it a step further, and this was just focusing on suicide attempters, and we looked at, we wanted to know, is it specific to suicide attempt? What about other conditions, which we call non-neurotypicals? So this includes depression, anxiety, all the other conditions Glenn mentioned. We found this pattern actually for the non-neurotypicals. It's the same, basically, as with suiciders. For whatever reason, not as positive over the weekend, positive anticipating the weekend, but not over the weekend. Now I'm going to turn it over to Christine. So we're transitioning now to looking now at behavior over time, and continuing with this idea of getting at insight. What can we learn about mental health based on language use? So far, we've been looking at people, and we've been representing people as these things, as if they're bags of words. Obviously,
No laughter for that one, really?
obviously people aren't bags of words. But there's a lot of literature that shows bags of words can represent a lot of psychological features about people. Their personality. In fact, we try to go beyond bags of words, and it doesn't really help very much. I know that happens a lot. Income and occupation, people's life satisfaction and mood. So the bags of words are useful, but still, we're looking across people, across bags of words, or one bag of words per person. And so here, we're trying to extend people through time, looking at snapshots or even continuous representations of how they're changing and progressing over time, which we think enables some more interesting questions. But really, we're, instead of looking at a person as a bag of words, we're now looking at them as bags of words, or sometimes bags of characters. Okay, and so a lot of this, we did a bit of a literature review, and there wasn't there wasn't a lot to go off of here with using social media related to user level tracking over time. And so what we're going to present for this section is going to span from posting behavior over time, content. So posting behavior is not even looking at the words, just looking at the amount of facts. Then content over time, then talking about what we call the RUT, the random user background, controlling basically for what does Twitter look like in general over time, and then get into toward predicting the future. And all of what we did, what we focused on here, was really dealing with controlling time confounds. Now I'm really going to turn it over to Christy.